Alright, today we are doing Unit 6, Day 7, which is actually Section 3.6 in our book. Today we're going to talk about compound inequalities. Now, where else have you heard the word compound? In science, you hear of a compound. A compound is something that's made up of more than one atom or more than one molecule. In English, you've heard about a compound word or a compound sentence. Compound word is two words that are put together to make one word. For example, bedroom. It's a room with a bed. It's a bed with a room. It's a bedroom. All right? So compound means taking two things and putting it together. Today, in math, we're going to talk about the word and. All right, now, what is the definition of and? And is something that you say 1,000 times a day, but what does it mean? What is the definition of and? Well, for the purposes of math, what we're going to say is and is going to mean must satisfy both conditions. Must satisfy both conditions. That's what and means. So let's do our first example here. About -3 is less than or equal to x less than 8. You're starting to see where this is a compound. These are two inequalities that have been put together. And we're going to graph this bad boy. Two inequalities that have been stuck together. Now here's what's up. Give yourself some room, because we're actually going to make a few layers here. Just like always, we're going to have two tick marks, but the two tick marks in this case, instead of 0, we're going to have the two numbers that they give us. So the first one is -3. The second one is 8. Now, for a moment, let's focus on x is less than 8. All right, so would that be an open or closed circle above the 8? That would be open. Going which way? To the left. It's pointing left. All right, good. Now, let's focus on the other half of this. The other half of this is, now here's the thing. What if we read this backwards? If we read this backwards, this says x is greater than or equal to -3. X is greater than or equal to -3. So that would be a solid dot above our -3. Put it slightly above the last line. Going to the right. Make a big long line. All right? So we've graphed each side of this. We did x is less than 8 and x is greater than or equal to -3. But when it's put together like this means and. We're talking about all the numbers that are greater than -3, greater than or equal to -3, and are less than 8. So here's the thing. And means must satisfy both. Think about if we went to McDonald's and I said, hi, I'd like a Big Mac and some fries. If they just came with a Big Mac, I wouldn't be upset, right? If they come with just an order of fries, that ain't right. It's only when I get both of them is when I'm going to be happy, because I said I want a burger and fries. Must satisfy both conditions. So, in this case, let's talk about the first line, or the second line, I guess, here, is burger, and the first line is fries. So, where do I get my burger and fries? Here at like -10, let's say, do I get burger and fries? No, the only thing I get is fries. As I move to the right, though, I'm still only fries, just fries, and then boom. What happens in this area here? This area, this middle part, this is where I get burger and fries, right? Then after 8, if I go to 9, for example, do I get burger and fries at 9? No, the only thing I get is a burger. All right, so everything out here I don't get. So here's the thing. Our final answer is going to be this middle part. But the way we're going to do is put a third level. Now here's the thing. The dots are always going to stay the same. So our dots are closed and open in this case. And where we get both is this middle part right here. So this purple line, that is our final answer. That's where we get burger and fries. All right, so let's try another one. How about 2/3 is less than x less than 900/7. Now, 2/3 is about 0.666 less than 1, right? Is 900/7 more than 1 or less than 1? More than 1, right? So, the small one is to the left, so that's going to be our 2/3. The big one is 900/7. That's a fraction, but who cares? All right, so we're going to start off with graphing two lines again. Start off with x is less than 900/7. Open or closed above the 900/7. Open, going which way? To the left. Then we move on to the other one. 2/3 is less than x, or if you were to read this backwards, what does this say? This says x is greater than 2/3. So open dot going this way. Now, this is and, so where do I get burger and fries? This middle section here. Remember, the dots stay the same, and you connect them like that. So that's how you graph an and statement. All right? But sometimes it's going to be a little bit harder, right? Most of the time, I don't give you just x. Sometimes I give you something like -8 less than or equal to 2x minus 10 is less than or equal to 4. All right, this time we have to solve, right? We got to get x by itself. So here's the thing. Normally when we solve, I like to put my little dashed line, to keep myself to tell me when I add or subtract things to both sides. But here's the thing. We got 2 of these things. There's actually 3 sides to this inequality. And that's not a big deal. We solve this just like we always do. We're trying to get x by itself. So what's got to go away first? The 10. And it's minus 10, so we're going to add 10 to not just 2 sides, to all the sides. All 3 sides get plus 10. All right, so then we put this together. -8 plus 10 is 2, less than or equal to 2x, less than or equal to 14. All right, we're still trying to get x by itself, so what goes next? Divide by 2 on all 3 sides. Divide by 2 on all 3 sides, and you get 1 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 7. All right, so this is what we're going to graph here. 1 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 7. So, graph this. 2 tick marks, 1 and 7. Let's talk about x is less than or equal to 7. Open or closed? Closed, going to the left. Then reading this one backwards, this one x is greater than or equal to 1. Closed dot, going to the right like this. All right, so where's our and segment? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Here's where I get 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1. This is where I get both. So our final answer is the dots remain the same. This middle section here looks like a dumbbell. All right, one more, and then I'll be done with you today. How about negative 5 less than negative 3. Oh, no, I don't want to do negative 3. How about 43x less than or equal to 7? Excuse me. All right. So I like to put my tick marks on both of these. Got to get x by itself. So what's got to move? The 43. This is 43 times x. So divide by 43 on all three sides. So we're left with negative 5/43 less than x less than or equal to 7/43. That's gross. That's not a big deal. Let's graph this. 2 tick marks. I got a negative and a positive, so that makes it easy. Negative 5/43, 7/43. Less than or equal to 7/43. Solid dot going to the left. This one backwards says x is greater than negative 5/43, so open to the right. Where do I get both? This middle part right here. All right, so we'll practice in class tomorrow. Smith out.